All right, episode 8, Orange Ball Podcast. I'm Sam along with Brendan, and today, as you may have noticed, we have a very special guest, a two-time Mountain West first team and the 2024-25 Mountain West Preseason Player of the Year, and more importantly, one of our great friends, Tyson Degenhart.
I am honored to be here. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah,
dude, we're excited. This is a long time coming, I feel like. We're trying to have you on a little bit, but we know you're a busy man. You're a big-time guy now.
I'm not big time, bro. These are my homies. I'm honored to be on this podcast.
No, we appreciate it. I honestly, we were kind of talking before and just like, there's obvious questions that the national media probably give you, but I feel like, those are just, too obvious. And we could talk about this year's team. It'll be fun. But, I wanted to bring up something that, when I just was kind of thinking back on when I first remember seeing you. And I do remember seeing you play in the Tacoma Dome, I believe. And I believe you had cornrows.
I did, yeah.
I'm waiting for that maybe spark to come back.
What kind of spark are we talking
about? I mean, I kind of just want to see a cornrow Daggy again.
Cornrow Daggy's never going to happen again. Like we can set the record straight on Orange Ball Podcast right now as Justin Tucker just makes a 52-yard field goal.
There we go.
Automatic.
Well, that's fair.
That was high school.
Okay,
I told my high school teammates, once I get to college, I will cut my hair. It took me the first summer to kind of like transition. Like once I cut my hair, I was like officially like high school Daggy's done. Now I'm college.
That's fair.
So,
we'll settle that right here.
Yeah, it's settled. It's official.
I do want to bring up growing up in Spokane, which a lot of people in the Pacific Northwest know, but probably not around the country know. One of the more like basketball centric cities, I would say, in the country.
I could put it up there for sure.
When did you kind of fall in love with basketball? Growing up in Spokane, like in a community that's so invested in the game, like more than any other sport, really.
I started playing when I was like 2 or 3, and I played a bunch of sports as a kid. And I think basketball really kind of clicked for me. Like it was the sport I really, really fell in love with. Was number one, probably like 5th grade. I think that was the time when I was like, okay, this is the sport I want to play. And I still played a bunch of the other ones. And then once I got to high school, I was like, all right, basketball is the one thing I can focus on. I was still doing track, but like basketball, everything is basketball oriented. And growing up and playing Hoop Fest every year. Have you been to Hoop Fest?
Yeah, man, I played back probably 6th or 7th grade a couple times, but it's great. It's great.
One of the coolest things. It's a cool.
If you're talking about the coolest thing in Spokane, it's Hoop Fest. I think like you just see a bunch of city blocks blocked off and guys playing street ball and watching my family play. Some of my family members play. It's the best.
That's exactly why it's like people don't really understand maybe around the country, but like definitely in the Pacific Northwest, like. Everyone understands that Spokane's such a basketball-heavy community, and I think it's, it starts probably with Gonzaga and all that stuff, but like Hoop Fest is like, I mean, you could go and play there and play in street ball dudes against anyone in the country. Like people come around and go to that, so I think that's just a cool little thing that they do. But obviously, the whole community is, I'm sure you have some good stories about, all the different. There's a ton of different high schools there, too. Like, I'm sure you guys had some fun battles, and everyone in the community comes out and watches. So, yeah.
Going back to what you said about watching him in the Tacoma Dome, I also, the first time I watched Tyson, who would later be my future teammate, was against Paulo Banchero and O'Day. Was that the state championship or semifinal?
It was my sophomore year.
Yeah,
it was my state championship game.
So when you first were kind of playing against him, did you know like he was going to be that dude?
Oh yeah, we played him my freshman year in the Tacoma Dome in the round of 12, and he was all as advertised, like just big, strong, can do it all. And then sophomore year just took it to another level. Like it was just unbelievable to see just the progress he made in 1 year. And then just to kind of watch him from afar and see how he's doing now is just incredible. Just to see a guy I played against and have a lot of respect for, and a guy who is from Washington in my grade, and it's really, really cool to see.
Yeah, he's killing it. A lot of great hoopers from Washington. A lot of great hoopers.
A lot. A lot of great hoopers, including you two sitting next to me.
Oh, yeah. The finest. Hey, Beal, there's a clip on YouTube. Beal hits a game winner against Prairie?
Yeah, it was a little cross-town rivalry.
With
but
Caden Perry on the roster, they gave Beal the ball to win it because they trusted
He was
him.
fouled out, I believe.
Yeah.
So, someone had to do it.
Yeah.
Someone had to get the job.
But, yeah, I mentioned that because, obviously you played in the state championship. I just saw you for the first round because we were bounced. But, hey, I just remember seeing you there. And I was a grade older than you. But, I just remember, you were kind of – honestly, obviously Caden was a guy that I played with. He was kind of ranked first in the state. There was a couple other guys up there. But you've kind of emerged out of that class from the state of Washington. Guys that were going to Washington, going to Gonzaga, it was pretty cool to see after a long time, wow, this dude was definitely underrated coming out of high school and then obviously going to Boise State and doing what we're doing is really fun to watch. And it's, we kind of said it on our last podcast, but that kind of stuff is what makes college basketball, so special in that way is you can develop. It's not always this 1 year and you go to the NBA. There are a lot of great players who develop at the college level. But moving away from basketball real quick, because you showed up in all your Seahawk gear. Obviously, you're a huge sports fan, all sports, but besides maybe the Super Bowl, what's kind of your favorite Seahawk memory of all time?
Oh man, the Super Bowl is definitely number one.
That's an easy one.
I remember watching both the other Super Bowls, Super Bowl 40 and then 49, and I remember watching it on the projector in my house, on a big wall. And Super Bowl 49, I was at the same house. I watched it when we won Super Bowl 48, and I remember crying after that game. I was just I just did not like the Patriots and just wanted us to win another one, and we were right there. And I don't want to get too much into it. I'm gonna get too wound up.
We all know that stuff.
Those are probably my favorite or most memorable Seahawks moments. Yeah.
And also, we got to see you throw out the first pitch at the Mariner game. That was probably talk about that moment because that was probably something. Obviously, that's there's been some stories about it, just how you grew up and huge Mariner fan and be able to do that. That must have been the cool. We got to watch it from the stands, and I was like, man, that looks so cool.
Yeah,
it was quite nerve-wracking. Yeah. You don't realize how far the mound is, and when you're in front of all those people, you're out there on an island basically, and. My whole goal was just not to spike it in the dirt. Did not want to end up on Barstool Sports.
Did it make you feel a little bit better that Coach Burns was probably a little more nervous than you were?
Oh, he was.
Because we saw him before the game, and you could tell he had a little. He was juiced. He was amped and ready to go.
He was probably more excited than you to be.
Yeah.
The funny thing is we get down to the tunnel and there's a fake mound, an area to the plate. And Coach Burns wanted to catch a couple, and he wasn't originally supposed to catch. It was supposed to be whoever they gave because Brooke didn't want to catch it. And we were down there. We're like, Bernie, why don't you catch it? This would be so much better if you caught it. I'd feel better about it. And he's like, okay. And then he got a mitt, and they got his name up on the jumbotron, and he was decked out in all his Mariners Boise State hat. It was just it meant a lot more to have him catch it because of his history with the Mariners and all that stuff, and him being my coach just makes it so much better.
Another kind of Seattle sports memory we share is we took a trip after, what was that, 2 years ago?
What was this after?
I think it was 2 years.
It was after our sophomore year.
Yeah.
It was the second year of the Kraken, if that's what you're referring to.
So after school ended, me, Tyson, and RJ took a trip to Seattle. Went to my house. We went to a couple Mariners games, played some golf, and then kind of after the second Mariners game, we drove home. Also, Burke was there too.
Burke was there. Yes,
He met us there. Well, we started driving back. We were probably about 45 minutes. And the Kraken were playing against the Dallas Stars in the playoff
Game 3 of the second round.
And all day we were just looking at ticket prices and it's pretty expensive. And we got up to what? That was probably Tacoma area.
I was thinking
Federal
Tacoma.
Way.
I texted my mom we're not going to the game. Yeah. And we flipped that car around so quickly. We drove back to the hotel we were staying at, parked the car, walked to Climate Pledge, and probably watched the most electric second and third period I've
7 goals.
7 goals scored. It was just awesome. We got on the jumbotron. We got a whole bunch of gear. Like, it was just the most incredible thing. And like, to look back and say that we almost didn't go.
Yeah, I'm so glad.
It would have killed me if we like saw the result of that game and been like, we didn't go. We didn't pull the trigger.
And we had brought it up, like, we did kind of a ranking of like the best sporting events. Playoff hockey is
Playoff hockey.
It's unbelievable.
Unreal.
Unbelievable. And even on TV, it's great, but there is a energy to any. It doesn't even the steelheads like down here in Idaho.
Steelhead's
like
awesome.
Like I went to a playoff game down there, and it was like, whoa, this is out of control. Like, this is the energy in this place is insane. And then if you go to an NHL level, like, that just adds it up, and it's awesome. I love it.
We saw we got rally towels, and just to like look around the entire arena and just like see the teal color, everyone around it, just the goal horn, everything about it's just.
I know. We've had a little rivalry with my Portland Winterhawks.
Oh,
we
got like 3 different teams in this division.
This is a great part about this group is like 3 very distinct parts of the state of Washington are represented here.
Very
like,
true.
And that's the best about like the Western Hockey League is like there's all these little different areas of teams, and so you get a little rivalry with Spokane and Portland. And
who's your team?
I mean, before
the WHL team, if you had to pick one.
Thunderbirds for sure.
Yeah.
That was my first hockey game I've ever been to. Was a Seattle Thunderbirds game, and they're good. They're coming off a few championships in the last few years.
We might have to do a little like future last place in the last place out of those 3 in the league.
The Chiefs have been so bad the last couple of years. It's just like they won the Memorial Cup in 2008, and it's just they were good like in the early 2010s, and it just hasn't been the same.
Yeah. No, but that's a fun league because you watch those guys at like 16, 17, and then like 8 years later you're like, oh, that guy, I watched him when he was 16 years old and playing from the Western Hockey League, and now they're playing in the NHL, but you can be like 15 in that league. It's insane.
Well, this is a funny sidebar, but my neighbor at my grandparents' like river cabin played for the Chiefs. Oh, really? Yeah, like he just played for the Chiefs, and I got to shoot some pucks with him up
sweet.
there. It was super cool. Like I was like 10 at the time or whatever, and it was just so cool because I watched him play.
Yeah,
and he obviously didn't play past, but just to see how he did stuff and that kind of thing was just super cool at a young age.
Yeah, absolutely.
So your first year in college was when NIL came into effect, and over the years you've probably, out of anybody, I'd say you're the godfather of Boise State NIL, and because you've gone out and got lots of many different opportunities. Was that kind of just you've always wanted to pursue that, or did it kind of just pop up as you started playing more and started gaining more attention, or is that kind of just how you've always been?
I knew NIL was going to get right as I got into college, during the summer, it was like July 1st or whatever the day was, and I knew I wasn't super focused on it. Like I was like, all right, I need to, focus on basketball first. Like basketball was always first. School was technically first, then basketball, 1A, 1B, and then NIL would follow down the road. And I knew if like we started playing well and we got some attention, then NIL would start to come, and we won the league title that year, and I shout out to Mike Walsh. He helped me with a lot of the deals that I got, and then it kind of just grew from there. It's been an awesome experience just to have my own show and do all those things. Oh my God, that was a great touchdown. This is huge for my fantasy
we're live
implications.
We're
watching
Monday night game.
Rashad Bateman, like 49-yard touchdown from Lamar. Lamar's the best quarterback in the league.
Speaking of kind of like the NIL, like that kind of thing, has ramped up. But one of the coolest things I think about, like when I was a part of Boise State basketball was seeing the first year that I joined when you were a sophomore, or a freshman. Yeah, freshman. Seeing like the level of the crowd in Extra Mile Arena go from, that year when you were a freshman, we had won 14 straight.
Yeah, we ended up winning 14 straight after starting 3 and 4.
Yeah, and at like games like 12, 13, fans were like, "Oh, we gotta start showing up to this. Like, this is gonna be crazy," and it has never stopped since like probably midway through that run. And now it's like, you good luck getting a ticket in the lower bowl coming this year. Like, and it's such a great environment for college basketball. Like, it's just really cool to see that. I don't know how it feels for you, but as like a fan now, like, I'm super excited to be in that arena coming this year.
I don't know if you guys remember, but the third level was always blocked off for a lot of those like smaller games that we had attendance wise. And I remember, I think it was the Tulsa game after we lost to St. Louis, and it was just dead. Like, there was probably a good 2,500 people there, and just to see it go that to the end of the year when we won the conference and see it sold out 12,000, and then the next year I think we sold out 3 games, and last year I think we sold out 4 or 5, and just to kind of see the growth of fans. And I think we sold 8,000 season tickets this year in the lower bowls. It's just really, really cool to see, and the support's been awesome.
You have to have a great environment in this league, just like, because when you go on the road in the Mountain West, it's going to be a crazy environment. You have to have that because you play half your games at home. Like, you got to have that kind of road environment for the opposing team, and I think that's becoming one of the top in the league for sure. Like, it's been cool.
It's definitely I would have to say, like, probably right on the edge of like A to B. Like, A tier is probably, you put New Mexico, Utah State, and probably San Diego State up there, and then like that B tier is probably like Colorado State, us, and Nevada are probably that B tier.
Yeah.
And like, the way our fans have been the last couple of years, it's going to creep up into that A, because we're going to have a sold out crowd, I would say close to half the time this year, and it gets loud in there. It gets really loud, and when it gets loud, that's the best time to play.
Yeah. So your kind of story out of high school, you had Boise State. You weren't heavily recruited. Who else kind of notable offers did you have?
I had 5 total offers: Boise State, Eastern Washington, Idaho State, University of Denver, and Point Loma.
Okay, so obviously wasn't a ton of offers, but you kind of came to Boise State. Didn't know what your role was going to be. You didn't even play probably the first few games, or maybe a couple minutes.
I think my first game against Utah, I played 7 minutes. The UC Irvine game, I got tossed in like the last 2.
Okay.
I just tried to make something happen, but I did not play a lot the first couple games.
And now, obviously, you're Mountain West Preseason Player of the Year, one of the top players in the nation. What advice would you give to somebody who maybe isn't heavily recruited or playing college basketball, who kind of doesn't know what their role is, and what advice would you give to them?
It's a great question. My advice would be to trust the process. Like, it seems kind of cliche in a way, but you have to put in the work each and every day to get to where you want to be. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to happen over a period of time. And the other part of that is just stay ready. You never know when your number's going to be called, and you never know what moment you're going to have that may end up being like the biggest moment of your career. Like, mine was getting tossed in the starting lineup, and I played pretty well, and that was my moment, and I didn't really realize it at that time, but looking back, like, that changed my college basketball career for the better. So just trust the process and just stay ready, are my 2 pieces of advice.
One of the cliches that you hear a lot in any sport, really, and it comes with big expectations like you have and like this team has, but the cliche of taking everything day by day, right? That's a very common saying. A lot of coaches. What do you do that you actually put that into play every day? You don't think ahead to, we got to get back to the NCAA tournament, because that's months away.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do every day that really defines we are taking this thing day by day, going into tomorrow? What do you that kind of thing?
When we watch film, we see like things that we can improve on, and like going to 3 straight NCAA tournaments, what it takes. And some of these other guys that have come in haven't experienced that, and you kind of have to set a standard of that. And in practice, when we're not hitting that standard, like I have to say something. Like we just have to understand like this is not where we need to be by the end of the year. Like obviously we're in October right now and want to get there by March, but there's no like formula. It's like day by day steady work.
Yeah.
Like just watching film, getting better at little things, and then over the course of time you're going to get better at all those little things. And our team's been really good this year about focusing on like one thing a day. Like coaches will say like one thing defensively or one thing offensively, and we really harp on that and we get better at it that day. And if we continually do that, then we'll get better at everything else that goes with it.
And sorry, go ahead.
And we can't win. Like everyone wants to talk about 0-10 and in March Madness, everything's like we can't get there right now.
Yeah, no,
like we have 31 games on our schedule, a conference tournament, like everything. We have to focus on everything that comes before it. If you start looking ahead to that, it's like it'll end up costing you because you overlook an opponent. It could be a quad 4 loss. Like all these things come into play, and you never want to cost yourself anything when it comes to a March Madness bid.
Absolutely.
And I will add the aspect of kind of just putting in the work. You're not where you are just from showing up every day. You're somebody who constantly spends hours in the gym after practice, before practice, shots up, working with guys. So that also, you're one of the hardest workers on the team, obviously, but that's also how you got there. Like you're not just going to get it handed to you.
Yeah, it's not one of those things where you can just go to practice, show up 10 minutes before, get your ankles taped, right after practice, then go shower and head home. Like it's not just something you can just show up for. Like at practice, you have to put in the extra work, the extra effort. Show up where we do ball handling, do finishing around the rim, do your spot shots, do it after practice, and then go get some treatment done to make sure your body is ready to go, because it's a grueling season, and you always want to be available when your number's called.
I this is kind of for both of you guys actually, because I was kind of a fly on the wall for some really good teams that both of you guys are on, and teams that go to the NCAA tournament that I found were, you're talking about the number 1 guy and maybe the 15th guy off the bench, but you don't get anywhere where you're at by not having that dude prepared and scout, all that stuff. Like how important is that? And how is that, like, fans don't realize, like, the last 5 dudes on the bench, if they're not locked in for a game, like, if they're not prepared for scout, if they're not prepared to do their job, like, that team's just not going to win.
Yeah, it's something that fans really just don't understand. Like, Sam was the greatest walk-on of all time. I will go out and say this, like, just the way he prepared. He took his role very seriously, and like for some guys that's hard. Like they want to play, and when it doesn't come, they have to, when they redshirt, they have to find this role of like being a star in your role on scout. And you led the scout team very, very well, and you got us prepared for whatever teams we may be playing. And I will never forget your alley-oop lob off script.
Arguably the greatest play of all time in the history of scout highlights.
Sure. It was one of those things, like you guys were playing basketball, like you guys were kind of going off script, and it made us better because not everything's going to go according to plan in games. And when you guys can break off a play and do something that they would probably do, it makes us so much better. And just the way the scout team was locked in for us has helped tremendously, and we're forever going to miss you.
Yeah,
That.
I appreciate it. Yeah, last year especially, like, it felt like for me, Vince, Cade, and then Ems and Chris, who were redshirting, kind of scout every day was our NCAA tournament game. It was our Super Bowl, I guess you could say, because we wanted to win, like, not just – like, it was a competition. We took it personally.
Oh, yeah. We kept score.
Yeah. Oh, we did.
Oh, yeah. When you guys got your possessions, we got points for defense. Like, it was a full on like game. Like,
usually you guys would win, but half the times we would make it closer. Even beat you guys.
You guys would kill us.
I bet you if you go into gyms around the country with the best teams in the country, like, their scout team is pushing them to the brink of you play a 20-minute half or something with the scout. Like, great teams are going to be pushed by their scout team, and then that's just how you become a really high level like program. I feel like if you walk into a gym and the 5 scout guys are doing all this like rebounding and all that stuff, like, I always looked at that and was like, wow, this is what like really high level programs are gonna put forth, and oh my God, there goes Derrick Henry.
Get him, please. Oh,
He gone.
that was like, that could have been like a
That was like
90.
yeah.
That's all right.
90 that's a huge. The Rangers just opened up this game. Holy cow! It's 10-0 Bucks. And
He's got some wear and tear on those legs, but that was a pretty impressive run.
Oh my! Antoine Winfield just his ankle shattered. But back to that, like when we got pushed by the scout team, it made us so much better. Like we knew we couldn't just walk in and be like, oh, they're gonna run, these 8 plays. Like you could know the plays, and it's still like you don't have a great communication. You don't have, ball pressure and things of that nature. Like it can end up costing you. And we learned a lot of those things just playing against the scout team because we had great players, and you guys knew the scout very well and could go off script, and made us a lot better and more prepared for the games.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed doing it for sure. Kind of taking a step away from basketball again, and kind of maybe not many people know this about you, but you are an avid Funko Pop collector. How many do you have, you think?
Oh God, I got a couple more for my birthday. It was cool. I got a Apollo one.
Oh, you did.
I was gonna bring up that, and like guy I played high school basketball against literally has his own like. It's just really, really cool. I probably have 130, 140 now.
Dang.
I need to update it. I have a spreadsheet and Google Sheets, like all the ones I have. So like if I go to the store, I'm like, I gotta make sure I don't have this one. But a lot of the ones I like are like sports, and they don't have a lot of the sports ones in store. Like it's just really, really hard.
And you have your own now.
I do. Yeah, we got our own. Shout out to Mike. He hooked us up in San Diego, and we got our own with a little Boise State little number on, or a little logo on it with a trophy and a basketball. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool. That was a cool gift.
You want to do the
hit
Tyson up with some of these?
So we're gonna do. I mean, it's a common thing for some podcasts. I know like those guys on TikTok do it a lot, but I'm gonna have you build your perfect college basketball game with $15. There's gonna be 4 categories. The last one is your stat line. So whatever amount of money you have left, it's gonna be that. So first one, we have venue. We got $5 Cameron Indoor, $4 Fog Allen, $3 The Pit, $2 Clooney Fieldhouse, which is Air Force.
Okay.
$1 Random Rec Center.
Okay. So
you go to the Boise State Rec Center. That's gonna be some high level.
There's some high level hoops there. There's some high level hoops.
Liam Butte.
Honestly, like for $4, like Fog Allen's got to be the pick. Like from what Cam has told me, like just one of the most electric places you could ever play at. And obviously Cameron Indoor and the Pit are great venues, but I think for the value for Fog Allen is probably the right pick.
They don't really lose either there.
Yeah, they don't.
You don't really need to
value.
expect to lose a whole lot of ball games playing in that venue.
All right, next you have $11 left. We got opponent. We got $5 top 5 team, $4 top 25 team, $3 a conference rival, $2 a conference bottom feeder, or $1 a D3 team.
I think I'm gonna go with the $3 and just go conference game. Like the last 3 years, we've gotten 4 teams to the tournament, 4 teams to the tournament, and 6 teams to the tournament. And there was plenty of other good teams in that conference that didn't make the tournament. So I think that's a perfect. Like we played, I think we played Utah State when they were 18th last year, and we've gotten to play San Diego State when they're 18th or 17th, and Colorado State as well. And it's been awesome to play against some of the great teams in this conference. And even not necessarily the bottom feeders, they always provide a challenge for us. It doesn't matter who you're playing; you have to take them seriously, and that's what I love about this conference.
All right, next we have TV network. You have $8 left. We got $5 ESPN, $4 CBS, $3 Fox, $2 ESPN Plus, or $1 an internet live stream, such as Mountain West Network.
We have always been a Mountain West Network, Fox, CBS. Like that's been our 3 stations. I'm gonna go with the CBS guys. shout out to Dan Dickow, but he's one of the commentators. I've been very close to him over the last couple of years, and just seeing us playing on the big CBS last year with Clark Kellogg and Spiro was super, super cool. And
got two more of those this year, right?
Yeah, we do. We got the Washington State game and then the San Diego State game at home. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
So I'll go CBS for 4.
And also I'll never forget, kind of warming up for the Mountain West Championship game.
Oh, Kevin Harlan.
Kevin Harlan is right there.
Oh my!
You hear that dude on 2K, commentating
God.
NFL, NBA. It was pretty cool.
Just hearing his voice like say my name on TV.
Just clip that
you could
Tyson Degenhart.
like just seeing him because he was right there when we were warming up and just incredible. Like because I played 2K when I was younger. Like his voice is iconic.
Yeah,
those iconic voices, and to have him call like our game has been really, really cool.
Yeah, I mean when you guys would, when he was here for that game, what was that game last year that he was at? Or no, I meant
Clark Kellogg.
Clark Kellogg, yeah.
He was here for the San Diego State game.
Yeah, I saw him because when you guys would go into film, I would just be out, and there would always be people in the gym that I would just like, oh, I'm just gonna go say what's up, like to these awesome dudes, just like pick their brain. It was pretty fun. Yeah. I always think announcing is like a challenging job that not a lot of people understand. Is you just kind of hear them, and like they put a lot of effort into learning about everyone and getting to know everyone before games and stuff. So
I think the best part about the commentators, like you look at their sheets and they're filled with so many random stats. Like I think Nate did a great job of like highlighting certain things that they wanted to talk about. And just the highlighting, the everything about it, was just all the work they put in. They watch film, they watch games, just to like understand what kind of the offense or what kind of scheme they run, and it's just really cool to see like all their hard work and then see how well they do on TV. It's really cool.
Yeah. What's the stat?
What's the stat line? I saved $4. So I had a pretty good one. I probably could have gone Fox and saved for the 5, but I feel better about having CBS.
I'm gonna give you your $5 stat line first.
Okay.
It would have been 25, 10, and 10.
Ooh, a triple double.
$3 would have been 10, 5, and 2.
Okay.
$2, 6, 3, 1. $1, 0, 0, 1.
So what do I have, like a 15, 8, 8, and 4?
You had a 25, 5, and 5.
Oh,
that's pretty great.
Oh, that's
great ball game.
Perfect.
Player of the game right there.
Yeah. Me getting 5 assists is surprising as it is.
Yeah, you can get those 45-degree kickouts in the post.
Oh yeah. I had a couple of those today. It felt good. Felt good.
What is one of the things that we've been talking about? What is like the secret scrimmage vibe like for you as a player? Like you finally get to play kind of against another opponent. Granted, not in front of fans, but like how important is that for you as a player? And obviously the film is great because you get to see your team as a whole, but like how important are those preseason type scrimmages and stuff?
They're huge. And I think we played 2 my freshman, 1 my sophomore, 2 my junior, and then 2 this year. And they really help, like, I think the newcomers the most, just to understand like what we do in warm-ups, kind of the flow of everything. And then to get acclimated and play against a Division I opponent is always great. It's just it helps so much to play, and then when you get out to a game, you understand what it takes, like what kind of the process is, and it makes that process a lot smoother. And but also just to get to compete against someone else instead of being up on your own teammates throughout the month of October. It's nice to come together as one and then go against a common opponent instead of like battling out between the team.
And it was. Just to be clear, Orange Ball Podcast did not leak this information. It was obviously all over Twitter, but you guys...
It's on Trilly Donovan.
Yeah. You guys beat Washington this last weekend pretty good. Obviously, it's a scrimmage. Take it with a grain of salt, but you thought overall the team did well, and you overall happy with the result?
For the first time, like playing against someone else, I was pretty pleased with our effort. Looking back, like there's obviously a lot of things we can get better at. I think that's the main thing is like you see the score, like, oh, they're a really good offensive team. Like we can get so much better offensively, and then hold them to under 70 points, which is good. But we want to hold teams under 60, and we look back and like there's so many different things that we could have done better, and that's all part of the learning process. Is just watching film, getting to play against someone, and when you leave our best effort, you can live with the results.
Yeah, and that's kind of the nice part is like you get to have that experience. Doesn't hurt you, in the win column or yeah.
It really doesn't mean
doesn't
anything.
add a win, doesn't add a loss or anything, but it does give you that valuable information that you like to have before you go into the official first game of the year. So I can see that for sure.
You kind of want to see what you have too. Like you can have this imagery of what you have as a team, and then get on the court could be completely different.
Yeah.
You can have different guys, like you try to figure out different lineups and things of that, and try some different defensive schemes, and just kind of see if they work, and that's the best part about it.
Yeah.
Should we move on to some college football picks?
Yeah, well, let's talk about some Boise State college football because obviously exciting time for the school. Like obviously, we're talking about the excitement for basketball, and then obviously on the football side, like Ashton Jeanty is building this like Heisman candidacy pretty well. And what's kind of your take on that? Like being a fellow athlete and just kind of I know you guys have met a couple times. I don't know how close you are, but what's it kind of like just to be around that and see that going on at the same school that you're at too?
It's like, as much as like people want to compare football about it, it's really cool. Like it doesn't matter, if we don't like football, it's really cool. Like just to see a guy coming to Boise State, obviously a great football school. Basketball program's gotten a lot better the past couple of years, but to see him legitimately be a Heisman favorite is so cool. And to be at the home games and being able to watch him like on the blue turf is super cool. And he's obviously done a great job with the media and everything like that, and just been a great representative of the university. And it's just been awesome to watch.
I think not a lot of schools are this way, where a great football season can build into a great basketball crowd, or the football program has struggled the last 2 years, but the excitement for basketball from last year kind of led into the excitement to football. Like not a lot of schools have that, and you have to be like really special in one of the sports to finally gain excitement. But it seems like the university as a whole has like built and even like your girlfriend Brooks, softball player, like there's a lot of people at those games. Like it builds for all those sports, it's very unique, I feel like, for a university to have that.
Yeah, when I guess the best way to think about it is like if you start winning, like more people will come. And to see like how football's done, they've had like 37,000 person crowds, which is like 3 top 10 in stadium history. And to see like people, like I've walked around the stadium and people are really, really excited for basketball too.
Yeah.
It's been really cool. And when you have that support of the football fans and the basketball fans kind of come together, it just makes the college sports experience so much better.
And then our friend Nick from last week on Mid-Major Madness, he tweeted out a picture of you and Ashton. Or no, it was a tweet that said, how great does Boise State have it? The two guys kind of superstar powered, both number 2. And then there was that picture tweeted. How cool is it for Boise State fans to enjoy what Ashton Jeanty's doing, and then we also enjoy what Boise State basketball is going to do with you and you as well?
I'm kind of mad at Nick, honestly, because he spelled my last name wrong.
Oh, I did see
no.
that.
He spelled it Deganhart.
We're gonna have to get. We're gonna have to.
You might
get
have to
on
shoot him
it
a
pretty
text or
well.
something. But no, it's super cool to get mentioned in that tweet and kind of see how people were taking it. That obviously are super fortunate to be a part of Boise State at this time, and the support's been incredible, and I'm just excited to see where this thing can go.
Yeah. You want to?
Let's get into some picks.
You want to talk a little this week college football?
I love talking college football.
I know you do. We always watch games and stuff, and obviously last week had some good games. I'm not sure. Did you got a chance to watch them all? But kind of watch the Alabama.
Watch the end of the Bama
and then the Georgia, Texas.
The throwing cans thing is so
bad.
We might have to go on a little rant here, 'cause
I'm gonna go on a rant.
Okay,
here.
let's hear it, because we're probably in the same boat.
Here's what I think. A freshman, 18-year-old and you make a mistake in a basketball game, what do you have to do after the game? You got to go in front of 10 media members and answer to why you made this mistake. A referee gets to throw a flag. Cans and water bottles get thrown on the field, and then they go, "Oh, yeah, we made it. We're just gonna pick it up. Yeah, my bad. No penalty about the flag." And then game's over. We'll just get to run off the field. We got to make these referees answer some questions, because if you're gonna throw a flag and then pick it up, I want to know what was the discussion. What was the discussion like? What are we talking about? What made it not a penalty? And I think they got it right, but I want to know the reasoning behind what.
It was a backwards pass.
Oh boy!
It's probably a fumble for Lamar. It looked backwards. They tried to throw it to Zay, and I think they're trying to do some trickery and defensive touchdown.
But anyway, I think it's and I know they're not all like full-time employees and that kind of like they do like it's hard enough to find referees, but it was bad and it was bad. And I don't know, like, are fans from other teams going to go, oh, if we just throw stuff on the field, like we might be able to buy some time and get a flag picked up or something.
That's the thing is like, it sets a really bad precedent. Like no matter what the circumstance was, whether they're like a miscommunication between the officials or anything like that, that touchdown got overruled. He was down. But just like sets a really bad precedent because now if there's a really bad call, like outrageous, like people are going to throw cans on the field and think, oh yeah, it's going to get flipped. And this is going to be like a once in a blue moon, like thing with how things like worked out.
I can't remember who was saying it, but like, with basketball, referees are running around with a whistle in their mouth and they can blow that thing dead within a second. A referee in football has to pull a flag out, has to realize a play, and you can throw it whenever. It's not like an inadvertent whistle by any means. He throws it, and then that's oh my god!
Oh my Kyle Hamilton,
Tomorrow Washington K-Dot.
Yeah, he got blasted. But anyway, it needs to be it's gonna be a little wary going forward if that is like not set that's an automatic penalty going forward for like throwing stuff on the field. Like I know like someone's gonna throw something on a player or that kind of thing. Like it just needs to be probably discussed and at a bigger, higher like national level that this is unacceptable.
Yeah, do you remember the St. Mary's Gonzaga game last year?
Yeah.
Like it sets a really bad precedent. Like it's not good to throw stuff on the court, and I don't know if they got a technical in that moment, but
it was like a 2-point game.
It was a 3-point game. It was obviously a missed call. You could see his foot was out of bounds on the baseline. St. Mary's hit 3, goes up, whatever. It's like, it's just you can't throw stuff on the field of play.
And there's like the referee thing, umpires, and like there's a human element to it. But I want to know. Like, I want to know what made him think that was an interference call and what was the discussion, why he had to pick it up. Like, I think people should know what the reason behind the call was. But it's just, yeah. Anyway, that's just a little gripe I have with that officiating thing going forward.
No, I don't think, like, for what you're talking about, I don't think they have to answer, like, 20 questions.
No. I just want to know why that makes
like a statement.
They just need a statement, like, there's like, let's say there's 3 calls. You want 3 statements about like what you saw. Like obviously we get the blessing of seeing a bunch of different angles of things, and maybe it's just like a perspective thing. Maybe like it looked like pass interference from here, and maybe the other person saw it differently. And then I
just think I think what going with that, like I definitely agree with you. Like I don't need to hear the referee talk about a 25-minute press conference, but also I don't need to hear the SEC conference put out a statement Monday morning that they messed up the call. Like I don't.
No.
Yeah. Like what are we doing?
It's too late.
Yeah.
Like we need it like right after the game. Like.
And if you just and I respect when referees, one of my most fun memories of being down on the floor is just listening to the referees talk, and you can tell sometimes a referee will just have to say, "Hey, I didn't see it. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
I saw it like this, and maybe it didn't happen like that."
Yeah, you're probably and sometimes they're like, "Hey, you know what? You're probably right. I didn't see it." And if that's the case, then hey, that's the human element of being a referee.
And that's what I love about the human element of every sport. Like there's going to be missed calls and people are going to complain about it. That's what makes sports so awesome.
Yeah.
Like you can talk about balls and strikes in baseball. You can talk about, missed flags, missed fouls, whatever you want. But that's the human element. I love that part.
Yeah, I think I'm never like really get angry at the referees for like losing people. Like it's just that's the part of the game. You have to deal with it. But when it does happen where stuff's getting thrown on the field of play, like that's a little different.
That's where you got to draw the line in the sand.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we can't do this.
Yeah.
We can't have this. Like I think it's got to be like a 15-yard penalty, like in
Yeah.
sportsmanlike or delay of game or something.
Well, this week, big game on Friday night.
Big game on Friday
for our Boise State Broncos. UNLV, the running Rebs down in Vegas and in Sin City. Oh, they're not running Rebs.
The running Rebs are basketball.
Oh my God, the basketball podcast. I'm sorry.
Yeah, come on.
You should know that.
How do we feel about Friday night?
I'm gonna go. Obviously, I'm gonna go Boise State, but yeah, biggest test so far besides Oregon. Biggest test for the Broncos. This kind of is. Most people think like win this and then just take care of business and you're in the playoff. I think Boise by 10.
Yeah, the spread's close. I think it was only like 2.5.
Yeah.
I like Boise State to win by like at least a touchdown.
Yeah,
I think the offense has got a bye week. Everyone's starting to get a little healthier. I think the bye week came at a great time. You got to feed the ball to number 2.
Yeah.
But also, I'm sure Cutter's going to move him around, use him as decoys, and Max has been a good quarterback this year, and I think the offense is going to be very good as long as the defense can hold up, and stop the high flying offense of UNLV. I think they're going to be just fine.
Yeah, I agree. I think a touchdown to 10 points is probably fair. Obviously, it's a huge test and possibly a rematch later in the year, but. These are just the games that, you obviously played Oregon, had Washington State come here, dominated. Like, you've just kind of done what you need to do, and these are the games where number 2, like I again on this podcast, I've said it after every game, but I think Maddox Madsen's doing a great job.
He's doing a great job.
I obviously there's different opinions on that, but I've never felt like he's, and maybe in the Oregon game he did struggle, but like. Going forward after that, he has not put the team in a position to like fail at all, and I just think Dirk Cutter is obviously a long time coach, and he knows what he has at the quarterback position. He knows how to put a guy in the spots that he can make the best plays, and I think that's what they've done. I don't see that really changing, like going into the rest of the year, honestly.
I think Max only has like 2 picks on the year.
Yeah.
If you're talking about ball control, we're not turning the ball over.
Yeah.
If he takes a sack or misses a throw, like that's a complete difference. But we're not turning the ball over.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important thing is like if you can win the turnover battle, you give yourself a great chance to win the game.
I think the thing that will be interesting is like, Ricky White on UNLV has blocked 3 punts. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Like he flies off the edge. You probably have to, be a little careful about that guy, but avoiding any of those mistakes, especially on the road, and I think this team is like perfect for those situations and winning those games, in my opinion. But
absolutely.
Next one, huge matchup because we are a United States Troops podcast, and specifically this weekend, Navy playing Notre Dame. Navy's trying to work their way and maybe a little playoff chatter, but who do we got in that one?
I honestly think Navy is overrated. I would love to see them keep winning, but I'm going Notre Dame.
What's the spread? I really got to ask. Like, what Vegas stakes?
Notre Dame 12.5.
It's at Navy?
It's at MetLife.
Okay, so neutral side. It's just interesting to see how disciplined, like, these big teams can be against a team like Army or Navy or the Air Force. Like, all the troop teams, they run the triple option. It's very hard to prepare for. I do like Notre Dame, but I don't know if they're going to cover the 12.5. I think it'll be closer than
Yeah.
that. The way Navy been playing this year, I think it could be a close game.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame probably wins this game, but I haven't bet against the troops this year, so I'm gonna roll with the midship. Oh my god!
He stepped out. Oh,
I'm gonna roll with the midshipman.
Wow.
Navy.
I like it.
Navy.
I respect it.
Yeah. Classic Big Ten matchup, Oregon versus Illinois. In Eugene, Oregon bumped up to the number 1 spot. Did they keep it rolling against the Fighting Illini?
Is this game in Champaign?
It's in Eugene.
Oh, it is in Eugene.
First, do we go?
No, you're good. Yeah, you're first.
I will have to say I did go undefeated last week in our picks. I think I was 4 or 5, however many games we did.
That's
5
right.
5 and
Yeah.
0. So hopefully I'll continue that. And Illinois did have uniforms of the week last week.
Oh, those helmets were
The
sweet.
leather helmets.
I think
They
I
were
think
sweet.
I think the best part about that was just the game was deserving. Like it was just like a run
Yeah.
run the
It was
whole.
21
I think
old school
I think
game.
Altmaier, Illinois' quarterback, only threw for like 80 some yards. Like they just ran it. Like it was perfect for that uniform battle.
With that being said, I am going Oregon. I mean, they just got a huge win a couple weekends ago, and they're just going to keep it rolling.
Oregon's gonna win. Was that 25?
Yeah, it's up there. It's a little up
It's. I think Illinois covers, but I don't think like it's gonna be close.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna cover 25. That's a lot of points.
I-
And Illinois is a very good team. Shout out to Ethan Machowski. Went to my high school. Kicked a
Oh, boy.
59-yarder this year
there. Oh yeah.
for him. So.
Yeah, I see this more as like an Oregon 17-point, 21-point win.
Yeah,
in my
that's
opinion.
kind of how I feel. Like 14 to 21. Like you throw in any number, how much they win by. That I feel
They kind of just do their thing. Like they played Purdue last weekend. It wasn't like a great game. Like they just kind of take care of business and move on. Like I just kind of see that happening. I could see it definitely being close though.
Mm-hmm.
I think Illinois has enough to make this a game, but I think Oregon wins by maybe 17 or 21 makes sense. Game day is in Bloomington for the first time, I believe, ever. If I'm correct, I don't remember. I didn't write it down. I think I'm correct. Indiana 7-0. They beat the wax off of Nebraska last week, and now they got the Dogs. Washington coming over there and playing. Indiana favored by 6.5, but who we got?
Yeah, this goes back to our, I guess you could say, theory of game day is always better at these maybe once or never gone to locations, and I love it. But I'm going Indiana. I think they're just going to keep continuing to keep beating teams pretty bad.
I'm a big fan of their coach. Don't know what
me too.
don't know what his name is. Saw something like if he has like a very boss's mentality. Like when stuff's not going right, he's gonna be like reassuring. Like, hey, he's not gonna come in and yell at halftime. But if they're doing well, he's gonna be on them because he wants to keep it going. And I think it's a great way of looking at like coaching and getting the most out of your players. Big fan of that. So I'm taking the Hoosiers.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Hoosiers too. I think they keep it rolling. Kurt Signetti is his name, and he had in one of his press conferences, they were kind of asking him, what do you do, schematically. Guy was kind of asked about schemes, and he just said, "Nah, I just win."
Google me.
Yeah, Google
me. I win.
I love that. I think that's I've really, and to go year one and just pretty much show up and be like, no, we're not gonna wait. I feel like there's a lot of these new hires and stuff, they try to put off this give me 3 years, give me some time, and he was just like, nah, we're just gonna win now. I'm not gonna wait to win, so we'll just win now.
Score it. Thank you, Toddy.
But yeah, I'll take the Hoosiers to cover as well. I think they unleash some firepower on the old Dogs.
I hope there's some great signs.
I'm sure there will
Berkeley
be.
had some of the best signs.
Yeah, they're doing. This was kind of one of our topics. It's such more watchable TV show when it's at a place where there's so many people that go to the show and the signs are always electric, and that's a fun aspect to it.
Oh,
for
yeah,
sure.
for sure.
Then the last one I had, Sam, if you have any more, I just have Texas A&M and LSU in an SEC battle.
Yeah, I also had that for my last one. I'm going to go LSU on this one. They beat a good Ole Miss team last. It's 2.5. Texas A&M's favored. I'm going LSU by 3.
Oh, attaboy.
Yeah, just go.
I don't have much knowledge of either team. Like they've been good.
Both teams lost week 1 and they haven't lost, right? I don't think
Ole
A&M.
Miss, I don't think. Oh yeah,
LSU, yeah.
We're not talking about Ole Miss. Yeah.
Got Lane Kiffin on the mind.
Yeah.
Give me the Aggies to cover at home.
Yeah,
I think Kyle Fields gonna be rocking.
yeah, I think
it's
this will
hard.
be a
It's
good
hard to
one.
play there. Like it's
I think-
gonna be
yeah.
hard. They've been playing well. LSU's obviously been playing pretty well this year. I just think.
Yeah, both teams slipped up week 1 and now, and this is one of the things that is interesting. If Texas A&M wins, I believe they're in sole control of the SEC.
Because they're undefeated.
Undefeated.
Correct?
So I'll take A&M to keep winning in this one, and yeah, that'll be a fun little SEC environment. Going, College Station's always crazy. So.
Well, I mean, if you guys got anything else?
I'm good, man.
Yeah.
This was fun.
This
I
has been a lot of
appreciate it,
fun.
man. We'll have
Yeah.
to do this again, and once we'll be at games and stuff, and obviously rooting for the success this year and just seeing it for a 4th year, you old man, and it'll be fun though to watch you guys play. I'm excited about the team that you guys got and this year.
Well, it's funny you say that, old man. I don't know if I told you guys this, but I was not having a great day defensively in shell, and Burnsy gets he gets pretty feisty, and I'm not going to say any explicits because there was maybe 1 or 2 in there, but
No,
Maybe.
no way.
But Bernie said to something to the nines of, you've been here for half a decade and you still can't do shell.
Yeah, that sounds
I
about right.
just stood there. I'm like, did he really say half a decade? Like, you should be talking about max like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It just
it
feels
like that.
Yeah.
I committed in 2019, so it's been like 5 years.
Yeah.
So it made sense, but I was just like, that kind of hurt. That really hurt.
Yeah.
One more thing. What can Boise State fans expect from the Bronco team this year, or from yourself for this your last year?
We're going to have a team that plays fast, plays hard, and we're going to win a lot of games this year. I have a great feeling about this team, the way we're resilient. We have multiple guys that can take over a game, and just really, really excited to see what we can do this year and just pull up to Extra Mile Arena for a show.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Great schedule, too.
Yeah.
Great schedule.
We
Yeah.
have Clemson coming up. You guys travel to San Francisco to play the Dons, Washington State in the downtown arena. There's a lot of great games coming up. We'll be there for Clemson for sure.
Yeah.
Probably
we'll be
Washington State,
we'll
yeah.
be the most.
How do you guys not have a media pass yet?
We should. We
You
got
guys,
to
you
tell
guys
somebody
got,
about
you guys got a
that.
podcast. You guys got a
Who
social
do you?
media.
I mean,
Who's the new,
I
who's
gotta
the new
figure-
who's in
SC?
charge?
I got to figure out that.
Hey,
I
if you
get-
can get us
Hey,
down there, we'll
no.
bring a camera and record.
No, you guys got to get some content. Maybe we can talk to BJ and see who his contact
Hey,
is.
just-
Actually, talk to Matt Charles
That's a good point.
and see, hey, can we get a media?
Because we were already going to mooch off of his tickets, I believe.
If you're listening and you're Boise State related to the athletic department, get us down there. We'll
We'll have good
great
content.
great content
Yeah,
from
great
from
content.
from Orange Ball Media and the
Yeah.
Orange Ball podcast.
No, but we appreciate you coming on for real. It's going to be a great season, and it was fun talking in this last hour or so.
It was great to be on. Pleasure. Great
Yeah.
to see you guys as always, and we'll see you around soon.
Alrighty.
All right, thank you.